Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Stefan playing Stellaris, and today I'm going to cover the best strategy to beating the G-Admiral difficulty with Fanatic Purifiers. This plan was developed and tested over multiple playthroughs, and it works reliably even in further difficulty modifications such as high AI aggressiveness, no scaling, and mods that improve the AI's performance, specifically Enhanced AI and Glavius' Compatible AI mod, formerly known as Glavius' Ultimate AI Mega mod, both of which I will link to in the description. This plan consists of three main parts: government creation, choice of traditions, and expansion strategy. I will cover them to a sufficient extent in this video, but if you want to know more about the in-depth tips and tricks to be used throughout, I suggest checking out my G-Admiral Purifier series where I use this exact strategy to achieve victory. I'll also link episode 1 in the description. So let's begin with the government creation, shall we? The government itself has to be focused to achieve two things: unity and mineral output, and I will cover why that is later on in the video. We will see the optimal build on screen, but there are a few things that I want to cover. Now, the Fanatic Purifier Civic is a given in this specific challenge, and so we have to work around it. So it has two main requirements. First, we must have the Fanatic Xenophobe as one of our ethics, but we do have a choice for our other ethic. We can choose Militarists or Spiritualists. The main difference is, Spiritualist gives us a plus 10% monthly unity bonus, and Militarist gives us a plus 10% fire rate bonus, as well as minus 10% to war exhaustion. Initially, Spiritualist doesn't seem to be too overpowering, but it really is once you realize that you get access to two exclusive edicts for a combined total of an additional 25% unity bonus, as well as access to temples, which are unity buildings, but just better than your regular auto-channel monuments and such. The fire rate bonus offered by the Militarist ethic is nothing compared to a roughly 50% increase in your unity output once done right. There's also a choice in your species traits. While industrious, traditional, and repugnant are givens in this, considering how they contribute to the main goals very nicely, you do have an option for the remaining two traits. You can choose to go with nothing, or you can go as I did with rapid breeders and sedentary. Either way, it's not going to have that massive of an impact on your playthrough. With all these aspects of the species, it is now possible to focus on the two main aspects of the Empire: the economy and traditions. Speaking of traditions, let's cover them right now. While traditions by themselves are quite powerful and grant a wide variety of helpful bonuses, the main thing we're after are ascension perks. With them, you can go for a choice of either a megastructure or an ascension rush, with which we can get ahead of the other empires. Now, there's a certain way to go about getting the traditions to achieve the maximum benefits. Initially, you want to go for discovery to get more anomalies and increase research speed. Plus, you get access to faith and science, which can end up increasing your unity output dramatically. If you have an average tech research time of 45 months, it increases your unity output by 20%, but if you're researching cheap 9-month tech, the unity output shoots up to a whopping 100%. Next, you want to go for the purity tree. This will serve primarily to bolster your unity output even further by a solid amount if you build symbols of purity on all your planets, which is really what you should be doing. The flat 10% unity boost is also very nice as a finish effect. As your third tradition tree, you should be gunning for supremacy. This is due to the fact that you're going to need the bonuses from the tree to truly compete in your first war, which you should be starting as soon as you finish up the supremacy tree. The supremacy tree also gives you access to war doctrines, and so you have multiple options to choose from there. I would highly suggest you going for rapid deployment, since it increases your sublight speed by 25% and your weapons range by additional 10%. That allows you more mobility on your fleets, and that allows you to crush your enemy bases before they can reinforce. The extra range also allows your fleet to strike first, taking out some of the enemies before they can even deal any damage. This way, you are winning logistics-wise. After that, I would recommend going for the Harmony tree, for the total 15% happiness bonus you will receive. 10% of that is due to the finisher effect, and an additional 5% is due to the Paradise Dome. The 15% Bulwark of Harmony bonus to fire rate in home territory allows you to strategize and bait enemy fleets more effectively. It also applies to all your starports, and even applies if you're in an offensive war. Whatever you choose afterwards is up to you and your situation at the time. Now comes a choice between two equally viable ascension perk strategies. One is a megastructure rush, and the other is an ascension rush. A megastructure rush is harder to pull off properly, but it gives you a head start over the AI empires, which seem to go for their first megastructure around year 200 with enhanced AI, and much later without it. For it, you will go for ascensions in this order: Technological Ascendancy, Voidborn, Master Builders, and Galactic Wonders. The other choice is a megastructure / true ascension hybrid, which encompasses another choice within it: the biological versus the psionic path. The biological path contains many more choices, but it is very reliable with its bonuses that come along with it. The psionic path, on the other hand, is highly RNG dependent and can easily cause detriment to your species if you happen to be unlucky, but the bonuses that do come with it are a bit more substantial than the biological ones. Overall, you would go for the same exact strategy for the perks. Voidborn, Engineered Evolution or Mind Over Matter, Master Builders, Evolutionary Mastery or Transcendence, and then of course, Galactic Wonders. There is a small component of technological strategy involved with the Ascension perk strategy. Stellaris has a somewhat complicated system of coming up with their new technologies after you're done researching one, and I will cover that in depth in another video. For now, however, the basic strategy is to research the most expensive tech you can for engineering until you get technology within the 3,000 to 5,000 base cost range. Afterward, you choose low-cost techs to reset the pool until you get the Star Fortress technology, a prerequisite for building our beloved habitats. For physics, you do the same, but the goal for tech costs is in the 6,000 to 10,000 range. You will also have to research all the technologies preceding 0 point, since it is one of the prerequisites to actually unlocking it. And the 0 point reactor is itself a prerequisite for unlocking the Master Builders perk. Master Builders is used to reliably get Mega Engineering because it has a very low rate of actually appearing randomly in your playthrough. And as an added bonus, Master Builders adds 3 tiles of space to every single one of your habitats. Honestly, the 3 extra tiles of space on your habitats is worth it on its own. Anyways, now that we're done with the traditions and perks, we can actually start going to the meat of the matter, the strategy. Now, a core component of the strategy is that we're not actually just going wide. No, we're going big. And by going big, we're going wide and tall at the same time. Now your general strategy will consist of 2 main phases, up to year 2250 and after year 2250. Now, 2250 is an approximate date. You can vary that up to 10 years. However, if you're after that or before that, you're not in a good situation. So up to year 2250 is just pure expansion. You don't even build a fleet in this stage of the process. You simply try to accumulate as much mineral production as you possibly can, while expanding and also building unity monuments on all of your worlds. Now, there are many ways that you can achieve this. The best way, in my opinion, is expanding towards choke points, claiming them, and then expanding further. That is because in that phase, you're not even going to have a fleet to defend yourself with, so you're going to have to rely on starports to do the job. If you get into a war that early, don't worry, just stall. If you have properly prepared, a single starport will be enough to defend whatever the enemy can throw at you by itself. And so basically, you keep expanding, colonizing, claiming systems until you get up to year 2250. Because after this, you're going to be at war for most of the time. I would suggest constructing your whole fleet at the same time instead of spacing it out and suffering the mineral loss. That is because ship upkeep is 10% of the initial ship build cost, and so with fleet, you will be suffering the penalty quite heavily. I would also suggest that you build a large transport fleet, and that is so you can maneuver your fleets much better in the war. At this point in the game, I would say you only need 25 transport fleets worth of your normal armies. Later on, it's going to increase, but generally, you want an army that is about 3 times the size of planets that you want to invade. That is so you can avoid bombing the planets themselves and just skip over them. At this point in the game, there's a pretty good chance that your enemies will not have any FTL blockers, and if that is the case, you can just run them over. You can run over their starports and send your fleets shortly after. Otherwise, you will have to keep your transport fleet close to your main fleet, and you may suffer some losses to your transporters. Now, as mentioned, you want to claim their starports above everything else. That is because the enemy cannot do anything if it does not have any starports. Specifically, you want to be claiming their shipyards, which are generally specialized to only have shipyards, and so they are not as well defended as a dedicated defense starport. If you can rush their shipyards, you will cut them off from resupply, and you will be able to win the logistics war for some time. And that time should be enough to destroy their fleet and capture the remaining starports. After that, you can send in your transporters and clean up all the planets. However, I would also suggest sending splinter fleets around the systems, and that is because if you capture all of the planets of the enemy, they will actually surrender right away, and all of their claimed systems will have their starports and mining stations simply disappear. Now, you clearly don't want that because that is a lot of influence, minerals, and time gone to waste. Plus, even though you previously did have recon on their systems, you will lose the survey status of those systems. and that means that you're going to have to send in your science ships to survey them once more. There are a lot of quirks that do go into warring with the enemy, especially if you're running the Enhanced AI mod. However, the basic strategy remains the same. Blitz their starports and claim their systems. Now, your first war is your most important war, because if done right, you will double the size of your empire compared to everything else. And if you double the size of your empire, you will be able to compete with the Grand Admiral bonuses granted to the other ones. And then you can play pretty much normally from there. Well, as normally as you would a Fanatic Purifier, that is. Now, while it does sound easy to just say, go ahead and win that war, the war itself is quite a complicated subject, and I will be making a video on that to help you guys out with that. However, once you have made past your first war, you will have already won with this playthrough. The challenge, of course, is actually making it to that point, which should happen around 2260. So if at year 2260 you have just won your first war, congratulations, you have basically won. And even if 7 empires attack you all at once from all the different directions, you should be able to hold them off given enough strategy. The reason I mentioned 7 empires specifically is because that same exact thing happened to me when I was playing my own Grand Admiral Purifier playthrough. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link down below. Now if you guys want to see more of videos like this, please leave a like. It'll help me gauge whether or not the video is actually worth making, because this does take quite a bit more time to make than my normal playthrough videos. In fact, I've even gone so far to make a script for this video to make it more high quality. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. And so if you guys want to see more, please consider subscribing, because I do post regularly, and hopefully I'll be doing this kind of content more often. So see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.